Hey folks, John with Complete Technology Solutions, your friend in the computer business. All right, so you know how we were preparing for the podcast that's coming up, and by the way, we have a tentative date set for that of September 14th. I will keep you notified as we get a little bit closer to that for the podcast. I think you're really going to get a kick out of it. We've got all kinds of neat things lined up, totally geeky stuff. You guys know me, I'm crazy on camera, so I'll come up with something cool for you. And I'm feeling really good about the relationship that I have with my co-star on this one. And in case you guys haven't seen him, his name is The Last Game Hunter. Dude is awesome. I'm going to drop a link down here in the description for you. We have a good chemistry, so I think this is going to work really well on our channel. But today, I have been vacillating back and forth on which webcam to use because obviously I can't use the Sony. So let me show you what I settled on, or at least one of the options. Here we go. All right, guys. There's zeroed out, but that just burnt right into that plastic. So this is, for those who don't know, Stronghold Legend. Time to make a pie. Here we go. What I wanted to do from the first time I opened up that VIC-20 and started banging out programs. So I had some choices to make, and one of the options that I had actually looked at was a GoPro Hero 7 Black. Now, I haven't opened it yet, guys. We've got it here, but somebody told me to look into this camera. This is the Logitech Brio 4K Pro. Supposedly, this thing is stellar. It's supposed to be fantastic. Crystal clear image, able to do 4K, which is what we want to do the podcast in. And they're not that expensive. I was actually kind of impressed by that. In fact, I think I actually paid quite a bit less than this than I did for the GoPro. We will be doing a video on the GoPro, probably the next video, because I want to be able to test it against this one to see what's going to work. Now, what we're going to do is, in order to test this thing, I'm actually going to put it onto my streaming PC. Now, that PC will obviously be a little bit out of picture over here, but what we're going to do is, I'm going to plug all the devices in, including the microphone, and we're going to test it to see what it sounds like, and more importantly, what it looks like. And you guys are going to be the ultimate judge here, all right? So when we do this, you have to be honest and tell me what you think. So let's take a look and see what's in this box. Looks kind of plain, right? Yeah, you think Logitech would come up with a little bit prettier packaging, but who cares about pretty packaging? All right, so switching over here to Stumpy so you guys can see this. Let's crack this thing open. And by the way, guys, I tried a couple of cheap webcams. All right, I did. I went with the $20 and $30 models. They were horrible. So I don't even want to consider going that route again. That's why we're going with these, all right? So let's crack this one open. And let's see what we got to work with here. Yeah, what really inspired me on this one, we have a guy that I work with, and he just got one of these for video conferencing. And the image was crystal clear. I mean, more clear than I'd ever seen his image before. That's kind of scary because I never saw him, you know, like crystal. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad. But it was, you know, it was awesome. So I thought, well, you know what? We need to get this on the channel. Let's see. Ooh, right off the bat, guys, look at that. That's pretty cool. So it looks like you've got, it looks like a light on it as well. Definitely a microphone and the camera itself. Let's take this out of here. And that just comes right, it's actually stuck in that plastic. And boy, I tell you, that's stuck in that plastic. There we go. Looks like it's got a little mounting arm here. Let's get this plastic off and we'll see what this actually looks like. And that's something else I was worried about, is how I was going to mount this to the other system. So there we go. That stuff doesn't want to let go, let me tell you. All right, so as you can see by Stumpy here, it's got the ability to hang it over the top of a monitor, to set it up on like a little stand so you can pivot it, which is probably what we're going to do, guys, because this is probably going to be sitting on top of a PC. What I decided to do as far as the podcast goes, I need to have a screen in front of me, right? What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have a screen on a station that is going to host the podcast. And then what I'll do is I will set this up as a secondary monitor. That way I can be looking over here. If I need to show you guys something, I can simply drag the image across and you'll be able to see it. But then we can actually monitor the podcast as we go. So this will probably be sitting right up on a PC. Same thing with the GoPro if we go with that. Pretty nice looking. So let's see what else we got in this box here. It is packaged very nicely, guys. There's no frills, no colors. It's just a brown box. Let's see. Looks like you get the cable, which is Type-C to USB 3. That's nice. And this looks like a carry case for it. And that's actually exactly what that is. A little drawstring carry case. But we're here, so why not, right? There we go. All right, little bag. That's pretty cool. And I suspect if I use this thing, this will never end up in the little bag. So we'll put that over there. All right. And in here we've got the instructions for what there are, which is, if I had to guess, this is like every other webcam. Instructions are completely illegible because they'll be in like 15 languages. And at the end of the day, it's plug it in. Yeah, that's the thing about a webcam. Now, I know that they do have some Brio software with this that we may want to download. We'll look at that too. And this looks like an optional mounting bracket. All right, so let me get this all cleared up here. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the PC in place over here. Like I said, guys, it will probably be off camera. I'm going to get the mic set up right here, and then I'm going to set the camera up aiming directly at me, and let's see what it looks like. We got nothing to lose for trying, right? All right, we'll be right back with you. All right, guys, so here's what we've got. I've got the camera centered in front of me here, and obviously you guys can see this camera. You can see it right here. This is not the optimal position, and obviously it's not where it's going to be when we're screen capturing and when we're doing our podcast. But for all temporary or intensive purposes, this will be good for testing. Now, I want to do this for two reasons. Right now, you guys are still looking off of the main Sony camera over there, and your audio is coming off my lapel mic, tap, tap, tap. So, what I want to do now is I want to switch. I'm going to switch over to the video feed that's coming off the Brio, and I want to switch over to the audio feed that's coming off the microphone. So here we go. All right, now, at this point, I'm looking over at the screen here. You guys can actually see that, and frankly, this camera's a little too clear. I'm looking kind of old. Nah, I'm just kidding. So, as you can see now by looking at this, you're kind of on an upward angle, but you can get an idea of the clarity of the image behind me. Now, we're not using studio lighting right now. This is just those overheads that we all hate so much. But the idea was to get an idea of what the image is actually going to look like. And as you guys know, I'm pretty animated on camera, so I do move around quite a bit. I want to make sure this image isn't going to do anything weird, any artifacting, anything crazy like that. And it appears to be moving fine right now. So, as we said, right now we're coming off the camera, we're coming off the microphone. Now, one question I've got is how good is the audio coming directly off the microphone? And this is something I'm curious about. So let's check this out. Hang on one sec. All right. Now the audio that you're hearing is coming directly off of the Brio. And you still got video coming up here, but we're running straight off the camera right now because I want you guys to see what it's going to look like. Obviously, we're not going to use the audio coming off the camera. That's why we have the really awesome microphone over here, and that's why we're going to continue using that. But I did want to get a kind of a side-by-side comparison. All right, guys, so this is with the studio lighting. So instead of having the big bright overheads, we're actually dealing with our diffuse lighting in the back here. And I'm just looking at the image, and I can already see we're not getting any glares. It's looking very good. I'm actually pretty happy with this. I am going to play around with the image and the calibration of the camera because I'm fairly certain that there's a lot of stuff that we can do that we're not doing. But overall, it's pretty impressive. I mean, just looking on this without even going through the editing studio, I can see that it's pretty darn impressive. So this is definitely top shelf. Yeah, definitely top shelf. All right, let me get back on the main camera here. I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, so what can I say? I mean, it's a great little camera. They were by far not the least expensive cameras, but they were most assuredly not the most expensive cameras. In fact, I'd say this is a pretty good middle ground. For those of you that are wondering, we are going to do the same kind of video on that GoPro because I am very curious about using a GoPro as a webcam. I've heard both good and bad things about it, so, we'll see what that does. The other question I was getting is, why are we not using this Sony CV1? You guys remember the videos that we were shooting on the Berna and the any of those pepper ball guns? And if you forgot them, I'll throw some links up here for you. It overheats. If you leave this on for any extensive period of time, I'd say anything over maybe 30, 45 minutes, the camera overheats and shuts down. So when we're in a nice air-conditioned room like this, I can at least get an hour out of it. but it does tend to shut down after a long period of time. And then you got to wait 20 minutes and fire it up again and start over. So I decided not to go that route. We keep that camera for doing what it's really good at, which is what it's doing right now. And then we'll use this camera for everything else. So, all right, guys, I will be back with you. My guess is in the next couple days, I've got to get the GoPro video shot. And then I want to do something really, really cool with you. And since this podcast is not for me, it's not even for Paul, the last game hunter. We want to do this for you guys. So we're going to listen to you. We're going to take suggestions from you, and I want to build everything I do that revolves around the podcast with you. I want you to see how I'm doing it, and I have a pretty cool idea how I'm going to set this whole thing up. So stay tuned to that one. It's coming sooner than later because that podcast is coming, man. It's coming. So stay safe out there, guys. Have a fantastic week and a great weekend if I don't talk to you before that. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.